Hey guys, good morning, Bore da. Here, my second day in Wales. Camped last night. This is my last day of the trip, and I'm actually going to do a painting here from the campsite because we have a great view of Pen y Fan, the tallest mountain in the Brecon Beacons. It is about over 800 meters, so depending on where you're from, that might not be very big, but it still looks pretty impressive from where I'm standing here. And here we can see behind me the main peak and that second peak, the sort of twin peaks. I think this is quite a nice spot to paint. We get the mountains, some of the trees in the foreground. So I'm going to set up and start painting. Remember, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and let's go. I'm working on a gesso primed panel that I've toned to a light grey. This neutral mid-tone makes it easier to judge both the darks and the lights and the colour temperature as well. I'll begin by sketching in the main structure of the landscape using thinned down raw umber paint. I'm just using simple lines to outline Pen y Fan, the big mountain in the distance, and the descending ridges and the sweep of the hills leading into the foreground. At this stage, I'm only concerned with the placement and proportion of the shapes. And as I sketch the outline of Pen y Fan, I am creeping it up a bit higher than it is when I actually look at the scene, just to give the mountain a bit more impact. And from here I now move into painting the sky. Because it's still early in the morning, the light has a soft golden quality. Near the horizon, the sky is warmer and a bit lighter. There's a gentle yellowish tint, and as it raises up, the blue becomes a cooler and deeper blue. Now I begin painting the clouds. For the light sections I use mostly titanium white with a touch of cadmium yellow and the smallest amount of cadmium red. This gives them a warm glow which contrasts beautifully against the cool blue of the sky, and I keep the edges quite soft as clouds are far away and they are soft by nature. With the sky now in place, I turn to the mountain itself. Pen y Fan sits furthest away in this view, so I keep the tones light and muted and cool in colour temperature. The idea is to suggest the distance through atmospheric perspective, and each layer of the landscape that follows, the ridges, the slopes, the field, is painted with just a little more tonal contrast and more chroma in those colours to bring them closer to the viewer. One thing I really like about the way the mountain is lit at this time in the morning is it has a hazy purplish hue to it. So I'm actually using ultramarine blue, titanium white with a small touch of alizarin crimson and raw umber. I'm also keeping the value shifts in this section of Pen y Fan quite flat, with just a subtle gradation from being lighter lower down to getting slightly darker as it gets further up where it meets the sky, and again this helps add to that atmospheric effect. As the landscape gets closer to the foreground, this gradual increase in contrast and chroma is one of the key ways to create depth in a landscape. The distant hills fade into the sky, whereas the fields closer to me appear more solid and the details are more visible. While I work, I think about the place itself, the Brecon Beacons, officially known as Banau Brycheiniog, and it's been walked by thousands of years, and these peaks and mountains serve as grazing lands, military training grounds, and now a national park for millions of visitors each year. And for me, painting here is really about connecting with the history of the area, standing in the same place where countless others have stood, but pausing long enough to really observe the light, the colour, and the quiet beauty of the landscape. I saved my strongest yellows for the foreground field. The grass here in the morning light has a vividness that you can't see in the distance. And I once heard the great painter and fellow YouTuber Patrick Orosinski say yellow drops off at the nose, meaning that yellows don't carry far through the atmosphere, so they're strongest closer to the foreground. By reserving these high chroma yellows for the immediate foreground, the painting gains a strong sense of depth. Once the major shapes are in, I begin to add texture with smaller brushes, hints of highlights and subtle variations in the field, and little shifts in colour temperature that give the land more of a natural rhythm. However, I'm careful not to overdo it. Too much detail can be distracting, and it's all about striking the right balance between suggestion and specificity. And I'm now going in and actually toning down the blue higher up in the sky, as I feel I'd painted it a bit too strong, and I'm just going over with a slightly lighter blue. And I'm also softening this edge of the cloud and bringing the cloud slightly further down so that it runs at a diagonal angle, leading the viewer's eyes into the top of the mountain Pen y Fan. So I finished the painting of Pen y Fan behind me. It's my last day here and it's still pretty early in the day. So Banau Brycheiniog, the Brecon Beacons, is not just known for its peaks and its waterfalls, but also its castles. And actually, Wales in general is well known for its castles, so the next stop is to visit a historic Welsh castle. So one thing Wales is pretty well known for is its castles. I believe it has the most castles out of any country in the world, partly because it was at one point getting suppressed by the English. So a lot of the castles in Wales are actually built by the English. But this castle was built by the Normans. So originally sort of wood and mortar in the sort of late 1000s. And then in 1165, it then got built out of stone. And it has since been sort of repaired and adjusted. And most recently, the castle was used for a prison, but now it's out of use. So it's a really old castle with quite an interesting history. So let's just have a look around. So I'm going to go up a spiral staircase to get higher up here. I expect there's going to be quite a good view as well. I'm always interested in finding out about the history of different places that I visit. On the second floor, pretty thick walls. I wouldn't want to be imprisoned here, to be honest. So now we're going up to the very top. It's a really beautiful sunny day, so hopefully we get a nice view up here. And if you do want to visit this castle, it's open until 5 and it's free to enter. And yeah, look at that beautiful view of the Brecon Beacons. Looking from the bottom, it didn't look massively spectacular, this castle, but climbing to the top, I can tell you the view is absolutely exceptional. You just get to see all these different mountains. This one here looks almost like a volcano, kind of like a pyramid shape. I really get to appreciate the scenery from up here, and yeah, just everywhere I look, just exceptional. I mean, I just feel like if I lived here, I would just be painting, you know, these mountains every single day. So it's definitely worth coming up here just to see the view. And also it's interesting, you know, knowing the history of this castle, right from the Norman conquests up until when it was a prison. So this is my last day here in Wales and I'm heading back to London now. I really would love to stay much longer here. And if you have visited Wales or you live in Wales and you know some great places to visit, please let me know in the comments, because I'm definitely going to be back and I'm going to be doing more paintings here for sure. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments as well. Please give me a like, do subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for another video. As they say in Wales, hwyl fawr.